I did not pick that song for any specific reason other than I know the gentlemen in studio, and they're definitely car aficionados.
GM aficionados, not Hot Rod
Not
Lincoln.
Lincoln, but the
We'll
song.
get by.
Yeah, I know, but it's such a classic song. And my grandpa back in the day, he had one of those cars in Iowa. My Iowegian grandfather. So that was just kind of the deal. He wasn't smart enough to have a GM. But anyway, in studio with me on this Rydell Car Talk. Good to be with you. Greg Croker, Arden Loven in studio. And what do you gentlemen do today?
Okay, my name is Arden, and I'll tell you what I do. I sold for 14 years right along Craig Croker here, and we get along really well. He seems to wind me up, and I seem to calm him down. So we've had a great relationship over the years. I love working with Craig. I sold for 14 years, and now I do a couple different things. I purchase vehicles from people that are either contacting the dealership or calling into the dealership or walking in the front door. They've got a car to sell. And we've got other gentlemen. R.J. Erickson is wonderful at dealing with auctions. John Olderbach does our Fargo auction, also buys cars off of auction. So I learned from those guys, R.J. and John Olderbach. They're great guys to learn from. I buy vehicles, and also I do some inventory things, and I love to just hang out and irritate and encourage Craig every day.
and that's the exact truth. But it goes the other way, too. So I'm Craig Croker. I've been in the business here in town for well over 40 years. And, to all my clientele, I am not retired. And I will reiterate, I have not retired yet. I'm still full of pea and vinegar and ready to take care of a lot of good. I've just created such a wonderful family of guests and clientele that it's going to be hard for me to retire because now I'm not even really what they call working. I enjoy my job so well, and I enjoy the company that I work for so well because they provide so many wonderful tools for us to pass on to the general public and take care of our guests. And I enjoy the hell out of it.
Yeah, and you gentlemen are both a pleasure to be with and to work with. I've had the opportunity to get to know you guys off, in all honesty, offset, so as it were. So these men are the real deal. Let me tell you.
It's great to be in studio with two of my very closest friends. So thank you guys.
Yeah. So text to 775-5559, and you can send one in and ask these guys just about anything. If it's not within their wheelhouse, they know where to direct you to. But a texter says, what is a safety feature that either used to be in a vehicle or something that vehicles don't have that they think that should be installed?
That's a very good question. And the one that pops into my mind is the old-fashioned emergency brake. I tell you what, now with all the electronics aboard now, it's all a push button. And as we all know, if we got a little age behind us, the good old emergency brake, e-brake, was a good one to grab onto by the hand or older than that by the foot.
The foot feed, yeah.
And I think that's really one of the big major features that I kind of miss. When it comes to an emergency, you look for a button on the dash and hope like hell it works. And I'm not real sure of that yet, but I'm sure because of the safety standards and so forth, it works just fine. But that's really the only one I see that's maybe gone.
Maybe this isn't a safety feature, but I was on the lot the other day, and there was a vehicle out there with crank windows. And I don't know of another vehicle model that has crank windows. I know, we, of course, knew them back in the day, but crank windows. And it's a nice way to get the window down without having to have power to it. Maybe that window isn't working or something. I know that is not doesn't happen very often, but some of those old things are also nostalgic. But as far as a safety feature, I can't think of another one right now. But
that's interesting. 775-5559, you're on with Greg and Arden. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I got a question for Arden. Maybe Greg, too. I recently bought a couple of vehicles at the police auto auction in Grand Forks. One was a Chevrolet Avalanche with no brakes. Another one was a 2006 Buick Lucerne. Why was the battery in the back seat or underneath the back seat in a Buick Lucerne? And was a heck of a deal trying to get it out. And I guess they went to one of the places in town to get a different battery, and they said it's very dangerous because they took the battery from underneath the hood, put it underneath the seat inside, but then they had to have hoses hooked up to the battery to get rid of the gas from the battery. So I guess there's hoses going outside the car, from the rear seat and so forth. Maybe you can explain why Buick has their batteries underneath the back seat. Thanks.
Interesting. I'd not heard of that one.
Yeah, well, the first thing is it was, to be honest with you, it was a safety feature at first. They wanted to get the battery out of the collision, of a head-on collision, and with battery acid and this, that, and the other. They thought that was going to be a major issue, but more important, it was a room issue where they thought if there's any component that they're going to move and get out of the way that wouldn't affect anything else, they'd put it under the floor under the back seat. So that's all it was.
It was always my thinking that was more temperature stable back there too, rather than in the engine compartment where it'd get really hot and maybe a little colder during the winter, but that it's more temperature stable back there. But that's just my thought.
That's interesting. I guess until the caller mentioned it, I forgot there were some models that for a while had the battery in the back seat. That's interesting. Okay. Let's see here. With all the years of experiencing cars, what is a car that they think should come back?
Oh, I've got a favorite.
Go ahead.
The old Buick LeSabre and the Olds Regency Delta 98, all the GM cars with the 3.8 engine. That was a bulletproof engine, and in fact, there's dealers down south that I hear that's all they sell. They collect them nationwide, and they do very well with them. Anything they can find with a 3.8 engine and it was in the Buicks and the Oldsmobiles and Pontiacs.
Interesting stuff. I change my oil always at 3,000 miles, but my oil life monitor always says that I've used less than 50% of the oil life. Who should I trust?
I would trust your own gut with that, first of all, but nowadays they use a different oil, so it's called a Dexos oil, which is a 50-50 blend, more of a synthetic type stuff, and now with the new vehicles, they recommend 5,000 to 6,000 miles on your first oil change. But if you're old school, you can still change it at that. It's not going to affect the warranty or anything like that. But most of the time, just go to your owner's manual, and what they suggest is what I would go by.
And I'm certainly not the expert, but I would keep in mind that reminder is that it's a reminder. It's not the constitution of the car and of the engine, and it's a reminder for you to change the oil. I remember having a conversation with a person. This was, of course, an aberration to a situation like this, but hadn't changed the oil in 40,000 miles and was wondering, I've got engine problems. That, of course, that was a 1%er.
Sure.
But taking care of our cars, we see it every day, that a person that takes care of their cars, they keep more value in the car, they keep less frustration out of their lives. Cars take maintenance.
Kind of like family members.
True that.
How many parts on a Chevrolet are exclusively made in America? Any idea, gentlemen?
I've got a rough idea, and it depends on the model. There's some that are, they're manufactured in the States, but the parts are made in Mexico and Canada. And to get down to the exact percentages, you can take, I'm going to go with a Silverado, for instance. I think 20% of the product is Canadian, 30% is Mexico, and the rest is American. But the percentages are different in each model. Some are totally made in the States, but there's different components, different chips and stuff like that, and we've talked about that in the past. So
sure,
yeah,
it's all NAFTA or whatever the follow-up was. Yeah, it was a part of that whole process too. It is a Tuesday. It's Car Talk, Rydell Car Talk. Got Craig Croker, Art and Loven in studio here. A texter to 775-5559. Craig wound up? ? Never would ever get wound up in the 10 years I've known him as a sprint car team owner. So there you go. Somebody says you're a very level keel kind of guy.
Well, they only see me at the track. They don't see me in the shop with Junior. No, to be honest with you, I know this isn't a lot to do with Rydell's, but my son and I have quite a relationship, and he's taught me a lot. He's taught me patience. And I think it works both ways. And if you want to get a good education on how to communicate with your family members, your son especially, him and I do such a wonderful job, and he's taught me to grow, and I've taught him to grow.
I walked into Rydell's 15 years ago, and I've learned so much from Craig every day. I don't know if he knows how much I've observed him and watched him over the years, but I've learned so very much from him because I came into the car business without any car sales experience, and so I appreciate him very much.
Yeah, well, you are a sponge. Car Guys, is the 2.0 turbo engine available in a 26 Equinox? If so, which models?
That's incorrect. It's a 1.3 twin turbo in the Equinox.
Okay.
That is it.
Okay. That's
it did. They did have the 2.0 at one time as an option, but it's just the 1.3.
The 1.3.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see here. Well, not quite in your wheelhouse. Trade-in value, 89 Dakota 98 Ram 2003 Ram, or should I go get one for $3?
It would have to be inspection, take a look at it, find out more about it, and so it's would need to be taken a look at.
Yeah. 775-5559. If you've got a question for Craig Croker or Arden Loven in the studio on this Rydell Car Talk, a Tuesday regular feature here in the first hour of a KNOX afternoon. An extended edition today since I came in a little early to help cover some different time stuff here. Let's see here. With Trump ending the CAFE standards, will you be selling more sports cars?
I think nationwide maybe, but the way the sports car market works is they go where the market is. For instance, you can see, for instance, of course, I watch a lot of dirt track racing, and they'll be advertising on, like the largest Corvette dealer in, I think it's Melcooten something on the West Coast. So all your Corvette dealers, the big Corvette dealers are in your Floridas and Californias in your market area. So sports cars up north here, our market isn't as strong, if you will, for the Lamborghinis, Corvettes, whatever sports car you want to talk about. But I don't think, and the reason why you don't see as many up here also is you have to earn them. You have to earn them on an allocation basis. And the way you earn them is the more you sell, the more you get. Well, if you don't get any, you're not going to earn many. So we can put a Corvette order in, and it might take 6 months if we even get accepted that order. So not to fend people off and not come in and deal with us on a Corvette, because we'll do our best. We only the Rydell group has over 85 stores right now, and we have a pretty good hold on what if we have to get a certain vehicle. I think we have a pretty good chance of getting it. So keep that in mind also.
Just looking at Arden to see, he usually throws his 2 cents in, but nope, okay.
Well, I actually just talked to a gentleman with a Corvette, but it's getting to that point in the season, too, where we would be, as far as purchasing a used Corvette, we'd kind of be winding down.
End of the summer
time of the season. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
In the sports car market, it's like motorcycle market. It's the people that are buying those vehicles are buying them in March.
Right.
February, March, maybe April.
Yeah.
That's when they get prepared for their warm season to drive them. So, So, like to Arden's point right now, we do have a couple sharp. I'm going to throw a little pitch in there. We do have a couple sharp used Corvette convertibles right now sitting on the lot. So, if anyone's looking at for a nice sports car at a nice price, come on and see me. I'll be happy to take care of you that way too.
Well, there you go.
When we what I have to keep in mind, too, is when we purchase a vehicle, we have to look at the saleability and that we can move that vehicle within. We don't want it sitting around for a year or 6 months, or we want it, moved within 30 to 60 days.
Yeah.
Because if it even sits around for 3 months, we got a decision to make.
And you put it in perspective. You got to take that sports car, and you got to, if it doesn't sell come close to snowfall, it's going to go away in storage. Now we're sitting on it for another whole season, and because of what we paid for it at that time, we have to be careful on where we're sitting with that vehicle also.
Sure. So, and that makes sense because our sports car season is definitely defined. Once there's ice on the ground, that kind of vehicle has a little less appeal, as it were. And so,
very true.
Very true. A text to 775-5559. Okay, it's a really large mug of coffee from an earlier text. Trying to find where my cursor went. There it goes. It just loves me. Are they putting Super Cruise in the new Chevy Blazers this year?
Not yet. It's not announced in the Blazer yet. I do assume or guess it's going to be next year that it'll come around in the Blazer.
Okay.
But right now it's in the heavy duty SUVs and high end pickups.
And it is in the Traverse now too. Yep. I know it has made it to the Traverse.
Traverse.
So it'll trickle down.
Yep. 775-5559 if you've got a question for Craig Croker or Arden Loven in studio on this Rydell Car Talk Tuesday here. Yeah, I've got somebody who's persistent who will pay for the increased tariff on cars. I think that's kind of outside of your wheelhouse, but that's the question that people want to know because I guess ultimately it has an effect on the price of a vehicle.
Now, I am not near an expert on this, but it was my understanding at one time that the plan was that our manufacturer would send a new invoice or a new window sticker.
Sure.
So,
okay.
But don't take my word on that. I don't know if Craig, as far as the tariff costs.
As far as the tariff goes, there was going to be some effect on what kind of what kind of parts that vehicle has. If it has Canadian parts, Mexican parts, or whatever the case may be, depends on what the factory or what it consisted of, and that's where the tariffs would be applied.
Yeah,
but the manufacturer was going to, last I heard, was going to absorb a lot of the tariff part of it, which I don't think GM's going to be that greatly affected, to be honest with you.
Okay. Any lease return Chevy trucks for sale? A texter wishes to ask.
Yes, there is, and that whole thing has changed. Before, leasing was a lot more popular, and it's coming back now, believe me, because of the price of vehicles and so forth. But in the past, we just let the vehicles go back to the lease company. But now, because of the inventory shortages and stuff, we buy out the leases. So if I was a betting man, I would say I could take our front row of pickups. By the way, we probably have 130 used pickups. And out of that 130, I bet you there's 20 lease returns sitting on the lot. Because we take them, we'll absorb the lease cost, and we take a look at the lease buyout. And we're even getting people out of their leases 3-4 months early just so we can sweeten up our inventory. So there's a lot of things going on now that really are in the customer's benefit, whether they want to get into a lease or get out of a lease early. We're a big player in that whole market right now.
Our time always goes so very quickly on this half hour. Is there anything, as we're starting to draw short on time, anything that you two guys would like to really kind of focus on?
I would love to just thank Rydell's and Craig for the opportunity to do what I do. I love what I do, but if you have a vehicle that you would like to sell, I certainly would love to take a look at it. What it ends up being is people contact the dealership. A lot of times it'll be mom, grandma has passed away, and we need to do something with her car. Or if it's an estate that has to move a car, or maybe even a UND student going abroad, or a Air Force or a military person leaving and has to do something with their car. So anyway, my name is Arden. I'm the only Arden at Rydell's, so I'd be glad to take a look at your vehicle.
And as far as it goes for me, I tell you what, I've been there so long, and I shouldn't say so long. I haven't been there long enough, if that makes any sense. I brought up the old retirement thing. I should have been retired maybe 3 years ago, but I tell you what, I'm actually, it might sound like I'm retired because I don't work anymore. I'm just there. I've got such a wonderful clientele, and we don't get paid on commission is another thing. So that really enhances. If you want to come in and have some fun buying a vehicle, I dare you give us a chance because it's a heck of a fun place to buy a car.
It is. It is. We bought several vehicles from you folks over the years, and loving them all. Had a great time. So it's been good. So Rydell Car Talk Tuesday, a regular feature in the first half hour of a KNOX afternoon. Mark Ewens, gentlemen, as always, do appreciate you folks taking the time to come out and spend it with us.
Thank you very much, Mark, for having us.
It's great to be in studio with two of my best friends. Thank you.
Well, now the jig is up, I guess. All right, gentlemen, you go and do great and mighty things, and we'll catch up with you later.
Thank you, Mark.
All right, thank you
Thanks,
very
Mark.
much. Yep. It is 28.